What's up, Collider TV Talk fans? Josh Macuga here, back with the legendary Thadd Williams on a Friday for your fresh Collider TV Talk. He only got one adjective because we are a little tight on time today.
The show just started and we're already late.
Already late, and we have a lot of stories to get to, and we're really excited about today's TV Talk. We will also end the episode with Twitter questions, so tune in to listen to some of your tweets there. And Thad, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It was a fun week of television.
Yes, it was. I mean, we didn't. Some things were preempted because of the election.
Yes.
So we didn't get some regular like This Is Us and those like the network shows. But we did get the Mayan season finale. Did you watch it yet?
I did. I watched it last night.
We're going to talk about that on a different time.
Yes.
A different time.
Yes.
Not here because it's very spoilery.
It really is. And I also missed the final Jeopardy before the teen tournament.
Oh yeah, the teen tournament started last night.
Now here's the thing. I know who wins because I was at the final.
I was wondering which episode you went to the taping of. It was the finals.
And I don't want to spoil anything for all you Jeopardy fans, so I won't.
Okay.
But I will say,
was it a good tournament?
Great tournament. The final is awesome. The last two and I can't give away any contestants, but I will say it is a very entertaining final. What I will say about last night's episode, if you watched Jeopardy last night,
I did. I had to pick up my parents at the airport, so I didn't watch it yet.
Watch it because there's a young competitor. Her name is Emma. She's a figure skater from I want to say Florida, but I might be wrong on that. She has the best voice in the history of Jeopardy. So look for it.
Like the best, like the worst, or
it depends on how you like voices.
Okay,
because I love it.
I like a good awkward voice, a little like super weird, unique, crazy voice.
Yes, and I hope that the kids in her school don't bully her because I would like to go to that school and punch them in the face because I love this girl's voice and she's very smart and she kicked butt yesterday on Jeopardy.
Awesome.
So,
all right, well I'll have to check that out.
Josh Macuga for Jeopardy. I'm wearing the button. There you go.
Hey.
All right. Let's talk probably the biggest TV story of the week. We talked about it on Collider Live, but I wanted to talk to you about it. There's a Jesse Pinkman sequel story from Breaking Bad, Vince Gilligan, all this guy, that will be a movie on AMC.
Yeah.
Following what happens to Jesse Pinkman after he drives off, giggling like a schoolboy.
He was crying and like
but
laughing.
It was kind of like.
It wasn't maniacal. It was more. It was.
No, it was a little maniacal. I apologize.
I feel like it was. It was a sense of relief.
Okay.
Because he thought he was dead.
Yeah. Yeah. He was literally living his nightmare.
He got a new lease on life at the end of that.
Maybe that's what the title of the movie will be: is Jesse Pinkman :
A new lease on life. Yeah. No, that would only be if he came back as like a divorce attorney or something.
He's the new Better Call Saul?
Yeah, he takes over the office. He gets his clients.
So what do you want out of this? Because remember we were talking about Better Call Saul, that we thought that maybe we would see Pinkman.
Right, an early Pinkman.
Pinkman.
Well, not to put a damper on everything. What I want to see out of this is not this. Oh, I don't want this at all. Okay. I don't think it's going to work.
Okay.
I don't there's something about him riding off into the sunset
that was perfectly cinematic.
And we don't know if something good comes out of it, something bad comes out of it. We know that he still has potentially a lot of legal ramifications. There are still people out there that probably want him dead that aren't the neo-Nazis. He did not get away scot-free.
Right.
And I don't know. I kind of like it being left to the imagination. The AMC is doing. They've announced a lot of this stuff, so that
3 Rick Grimes movies.
We get more Rick Grimes movies than we ever could have hoped for,
which we'll talk about a little bit later.
We'll bring that up later on in the show. But it's like they're doing that for AMC, either the app or for television. We don't know what the distribution model is actually going to be. They might even put them in theaters for like a limited run. We don't know.
Yeah.
And now they've announced this. It feels like they're just tapping into as many wells as they possibly can instead of coming up with new, original, groundbreaking programming like they were 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And so
Allison Keene had a funny tweet that was, now I'm just looking forward to the Mad Men shared universe, cinematic shared universe.
Exactly.
And I responded with, well, it was called Mad Men.
Yeah.
So
there's more than one. There's more than one. I mean.
Don Draper's just like a smoking cigarette, old executive like, I invented the Coke one.
Yeah. That was me. I did that. I feel like I love, I love Better Call Saul. I love the nature of it. I just don't know if that universe needs to be that much larger.
Yeah.
Like, what's next? Are we going to do like a digital series about the German company? Like, like where do we draw the line? I was not expecting that.
I just got the visual of the announcement of the digital series about the German company, and that made me giggle. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I don't know if we need this. I love Aaron Paul. I even tried to watch The Path.
Yeah.
Like, I will try to watch.
I watched the whole first season of The Path.
I would try to watch a lot of Aaron Paul stuff because I think he's a great actor, and I want him to have all the success in the world.
Aaron Paul's best role since Breaking Bad has been the voice.
Need for Speed.
No, that's a fantastically terrible movie. The voice of what's the character on BoJack Horseman? He voices.
Oh yeah.
Scott, is it Scott? Hold on, let me look it up. But he's fantastic in that show with that voice, and he plays just like this stoner idiot that keeps falling into millions of dollars. It's very, very funny.
The big head of their universe.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, he's totally big headed.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. No, I just. Will I watch this when it comes out? Of course. Mm-hmm. Like if they say, hey, there's a 2-hour Breaking Bad movie.
Todd Chavez is his name.
Not to be confused with Todd from Breaking Bad, who was Jesse Plemons, not Jesse Pinkman,
and also a sociopath.
Yes, total sociopath. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, okay.
I will watch
Listen,
it. I'm not thrilled.
I see you. I see your point. I see all of it. To be honest with you, again, I like that he rode off into the sunset. I want to see a Pinkman prequel.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I would rather, I would rather see him in Breaking Bad or in Better Call Saul. I would rather see him show up in Better Call Saul as a 2-bit drug dealer that's like not even at the, because he was kind of a 2-bit drug dealer when he met Walt.
Right.
Like, so where is he like right before that?
Right.
Where he's like he's already
about to break bad.
Like he just dropped out of high school kind of thing. Like he's not.
Right.
He's on that path, but he doesn't even know where the world is going.
100%.
So
I'm with you.
I don't know.
Let's move on. There's an Explorers pilot being developed and shot with Cary Fukanaga, who is touching everything. That came out wrong. He has his hands in it. That also came out. He is producing a lot of things, directing a lot of things these days. I know I couldn't get through Maniac. I know you also couldn't get through Maniac.
Yeah, but
I finally finished Making a Murderer yesterday.
Okay.
Season 2.
Did he get out?
He didn't. Neither of them got out.
Oh yeah, because we knew that in the news a year ago.
I will say this. I spent the 10 episodes thinking that something dynamic was going to happen. And you know what I learned about the dynamics of the American legal and justice system? You get accused of a crime and there's no good evidence to back you up that you might not have done it.
Then you're
you're done.
You're screwed.
You're screwed.
Yeah.
Just don't do crimes, people. It's real easy. Yeah. But did you watch the Explorers?
I don't remember this movie at all. It's from '85. That was the year I was born. Okay. So it would have been on maybe like Disney,
a USA when you
Disney
90.
Channel as a kid. Like it's got a young, goofy looking Ethan Hawke.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, it looks like one of those. I mean, was Jim Henson involved in this? It looks like a Jim Henson project.
It does look very Jim Henson-y.
It feels like that never-ending story.
Yes.
Mid-'80s fantasy child world.
What I think they're trying to dip into here is Stranger Things.
Yeah, for sure.
Into a Stranger Things.
For sure. But it's like Stranger Things works because it's nostalgic. Like it's throwing us back into that era with these kids that are experiencing all of that 80s fantasy sci-fi stuff, and then having a similar event happen to them.
Right.
Whereas this is just a remake of an old movie.
And it's going to be on. They're shooting it for Paramount Network.
For the Paramount Network. So much like Heathers, it will never actually see the light of day.
And my favorite show that was on the Paramount Network and previously on TV Land, Nobodies,
right?
Which they canceled, was a fantastic comedy that nobody watched.
Correct.
Yeah. And I loved it.
Nobody's watched?
Well done.
Nobody's watching?
Thadd Williams.
Nobody's watching. That was a Dan Harmon pilot. Nobody's watching, I believe.
Was it?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
But so this sounds interesting. I mean, yeah, I'm wondering, will Ethan Hawke make an appearance?
I could see that. Yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's move on.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I think other than Yellowstone, It sounds like most of the Paramount Network stuff is diving into their old IP.
Right.
Like it's them saying we have a library. Now we're gonna recycle our old library. So this just sounds like another one of those.
Yeah.
And some of them work, some of them don't.
Okay, I'll give it to you. SYFY is going the CW route with Deadly Class.
Yeah.
This sounds kind of badass.
It does. I mean, it feels a little bit like Kingsman.
Yeah. And like Marvel's Runaways in a certain extent.
Yeah. So it's
Riverdale with ninjas, with samurais.
Sninjas. They're the ninjas that eat Snickers. Yeah. So Benedict Wong is in this. So this is about a upscale private academy for rich children of crime bosses. So these are the children of crime bosses, and they're learning how to be.
It's
bad.
basically like. What's that show that my niece or those TV movies on Disney?
Descendants.
Descendants.
Yes,
I was thinking. Yes, Descendants for crime bosses.
Right. So if you're not familiar with Descendants because you're over the age of 9,
yes,
it's a very popular TV movie series on the Disney Channel about the children of Disney villains.
Right.
So you have like the daughter of Maleficent.
Right.
Malefisent. Malkovich.
John Malkovich.
John Malkovich's daughter is one of the characters. I mean, he plays a villain in 90% of the shows anyways.
He played a villain when I waited tables. When he was shooting Perks of Being a Wallflower, because he was a producer on that movie, he came into the restaurant or worked like twice a week. It was a very good Italian place in Pittsburgh. And he was the best. He'd be like, I would like the pasta. And then he would just put the menu down. I'm like, you're fucking John Malkovich. It's amazing. Excuse my language. I apologize.
Yeah. So, I mean, this looks cool. CW's doing...
Do you watch a lot of sci-fi?
You know, I did for a long time. So sci-fi had a very interesting run where they had the dark shows like Battlestar. Then they had a lot of sudsy shows like Eureka and Warehouse 13, which I actually also really liked. I watched all of Eureka and Warehouse 13. They were much brighter in tone. Comedic science fiction, and they were fun. And then they swung the pendulum the other way. Went back to dark sci-fi. The Expanse, which is incredible.
I've heard that's moving to
it's moving to Amazon for season 4.
Okay, I
never got around to watching season 3, so I think I'm going to binge it all on Amazon before the 4th season starts.
The Expanse is one of those shows that in TV Talk 1.0,
David Griffin
live for it.
Yes,
yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah,
it's really good dark hard sci-fi.
Okay.
And then they've had some swings and misses over the years. There was one that took place in like post-apocalyptic St. Louis that I watched that didn't really click.
Right.
But they were trying. They were swinging for the fences. 12 Monkeys I've heard good things about. And now it seems like with The Magicians, which is a little bit...
Yeah, I've heard things about that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more fantasy-driven, a little bit slightly lighter in tone, at least visually, even if tonally it's dark. It doesn't look as dark as some of the like Expanse, Battlestar type shows, and this one definitely fits into that into that model, in my opinion.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean,
here's the thing.
I'm always up for new sci-fi and original takes on sci-fi. Obviously, this is based on an Image Comics graphic novel.
Yeah.
But at the very least, it's not just a reboot of a 12-episode series from 1972. Like it's kind of a new thing. It's kind of a first time on television sort of concept.
I like the idea that the crime bosses are all going to like dinner parties talking about their kids' school. That the idea of that is just pretty funny. All right. Apparently the CW is rebooting the 4400. I didn't watch that.
So the 4400 was an amazing science fiction show on USA. Back in the early 2000s.
I knew I'd seen it. What is it about?
So it's about 4,400 people who were abducted. Some of them as far back as the late 50s, all the way to like 6 months prior.
Okay.
And then they all show up on the same day. Like on the same day, all 4,400 people, as if no time has passed, just show up in the middle of a field. And they're like, "Hey, we're home." And they don't know where they've been, and all this stuff happens.
So it's sort of like this show that we just...
This new Manifest show is drawing on a lot of that tonally. A young Mahershala Ali was on the show before he was famous, and a number of other people. It actually one of the two people that is doing this reboot for CW is Craig Sweeney, who was a writer on the original show and is currently the showrunner on The Code, which is that military show that's coming out in the mid-season. mid-season for CBS, and then it's also an alumnus of Justified. Taylor Elmore is also the co-showrunner on this.
Okay.
Renee Echevarria, who was a Star Trek alum, was one of the co-creators of the original show. It was a really good original science fiction concept.
Mira Sorvino's in the code
in the early 2000s. Yeah. So yeah, I think it's cool that's coming back. I've always loved the show. I think it could work well. This might be the first time I actually watched something on the CW.
Right, I'm
curious if there's going to be an age cap on all the 4,400 people, right? Because it's CW.
You have to be young and hot.
Everyone's got to be like. That was the beauty of this show. Is like, I think Mahershala played a Korean War veteran who came back. Like he disappeared a couple years after the war. Like he came back from the war, realized that the equality that he had in Korea he did not have in 1950s America, and disappeared, and then came back into late 90s, early 2000s, 40 some years later, not really knowing anything that like the world had changed around him.
And do we ever learn about where they may have been or anything like that?
Yeah, I to be completely honest, I think I gave up before the end of the series. Like it was, it was pre-DVR. I think I was going to college and missing some of the episodes. I forget how it ultimately resoled.
Was it? Did it give itself a finale, or was it canceled before it could give itself?
I think they gave itself a finale. I think they gave itself a final season. Or at least they knew it was coming and they wrapped it up.
Okay. And how many seasons of the 400 did we get on USA?
I want to say I'm going to guess and say 4.
Okay. But I was just going to say the same exact thing.
But I forget how many episodes they actually did.
Let's see. 4 total seasons.
4 seasons.
There you go.
Premiered in 2004.
Yeah.
So it was airing when I was in college, and
43 total episodes.
I watched it when I tried.
Okay.
Like I tried to catch up as I could.
Got it.
Jeremy Davies was on the show for a little while.
Yeah.
Joel Gretsch.
This was one of those ones that just went by. 2004.
Yeah. Jeffrey Combs. I mean, Garrett Dillahunt was in the show for a little while. It was awesome cast. Big fan. Billy Campbell, I believe. Billy Campbell was one of the main characters. Right. That was kind of his first role since like his Rocketeer days and before The Killing. So I'm glad it's coming back. I hope they do a good job with it. I will definitely tune in.
All right, let's move on. Nicole Kidman is doing another miniseries for HBO.
Yeah.
A limited series, as we're calling them these days.
Mm-hmm.
And she's getting Suzanne Bier, who directed all of The Night Manager, which I was not a huge fan of, and I was not a huge fan of her directing.
No, but she won the Emmy for it.
She won the Emmy for it.
She's been in high demand ever since then. This is a new David E. Kelley project.
And this is her first time back on TV since The Night Manager.
Right. So ever since that, she's been getting offers from television projects and stuff, and so this is what she's putting her eggs in.
Now, here's why I didn't like her directing, and it might be a BBC thing, it might be a British television thing.
Yeah,
it was the eyeball close-ups.
Okay,
and they did that a bunch. It was like, look at this eyeball looking through a light hole.
Gotcha.
And I hated that, and they did that probably twice an episode. And it was long takes, and they were long eyeball looks, and I was like, eh. So if I see that in this Nicole Kidman series, I'm gonna be like, Suzanne Bier, you got me again.
It's her. Yeah. I mean, this is interesting. I mean, David E. Kelley's been on a good run right now between Big Little Lies and Goliath on Amazon, which I really
did you watch the whole second season?
Yeah, and it's a mind twist.
Oh, really?
Oh, man.
I've been to Shay J 3 times since Goliath season 2, and I still haven't watched it.
It's a twist. I don't know where they're going. It's weird.
Okay.
It was really weird.
So should I watch it? Because I loved the first season.
You should watch it because I want to know what you think about it, because I think we're the only 2 people on Earth that are watching
I know.
it. So, I want to get your take on it at some point.
Okay.
But... it's like 8 episodes.
Yeah,
I think it's part 1. I think season 3 will make season 2 make more sense.
Okay.
Basically, I think it will help culminate some of the many loose ends that they leave at the end of season 2.
Okay.
But yeah, this is another big project. Nicole Kidman is like total career resurgence.
Yeah, totally. And it sounds interesting. This miniseries of her basically having like a major life event in her. It's like a family. It sounds very Big Little Lies to a certain extent, just with one family instead of 3 families.
Yeah. And then speaking of HBO, they just announced that David Simon and Ed Burns are putting together a new. Burns. Yeah, he needs to do a little bit more acting.
I agree.
Maybe not play a cop. He plays a cop in a lot of his stuff.
A lot of things. Either a cop or a soldier.
Yeah. What was that? What was that rom-com?
Saving Private Ryan.
What was the rom-com he did back in the 90s?
Oh, now you're really testing my rom-com.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, so let me tell you about this project. This is a new limited series for HBO. It sounds like their version of Man in the High Castle.
Okay.
It's based on a book from 2004 called The Plot Against America. And it's an alternate history where FDR is defeated in 1940 by Charles Lindbergh, who was a very famous celebrity at the time, but also a xenophobic populist, and kind of if he had been put up as the alternative to FDR, if he had won the election, this book posits that the nation would have kind of skewed towards fascism. And we, of course, in 1940, we were kind of on the brink of whether or not we were going to even get into the war.
Right.
So what would have happened if the pendulum had swung the exact other way?
Enthusiast.
And we had someone that might have been a little bit supportive of
dark.
Sir Adolf, and
Sir
Adolf. And it's told through the lens of a Jewish American family.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
In New Jersey. And so I think it definitely has a lot of High Castle vibes. The
family was in New Jersey and Man in High Castle.
Yeah. A lot of High Castle vibes.
Okay.
Ed Burns and David Simon did The Wire. They did The Corner. They did Generation Kill.
Yeah.
Like, they know how to do excellent HBO limited series shows.
100%.
And so I have full faith in them. My only worry is that Annapurna's involved, and they have been dropping projects like flies lately.
Yeah, weirdly.
They went through some executive changes, and some of the execs took a lot of those projects with them. Okay. But they've been swinging for the fences on some really ballsy projects that might not be financial successes,
but critically acclaimed.
But could be critically acclaimed, and then they've been kind of pulling back a little bit at the last minute. Okay. They did that with the Fox News project. They did that with there was another one that they lost.
Is that the one that we saw the picture of? What's his name? Is Roger Ailes yesterday?
Yeah. Lionsgate picked it up.
Oh, okay.
So they're still happening, but they've been. So my only worry is whether or not Annapurna will actually be involved in this.
Right
but. HBO, at the end of the day, it's an HBO show, so it's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
If HBO says,
especially with Ed Burns and David
Simon, guess what? And The Deuce is finishing up. He needs a new project. This is it. So
I need to catch up on The Deuce. That show I love, but it's one of those shows that sits on the DVR.
Yeah.
So,
but you're still in it. You haven't dropped The Deuce?
No. The Deuce is in there.
Yeah.
It's peeking out a little, just waiting.
It's squeezing through.
All
right.
Yeah. She's the One is the rom-com you were thinking of, 1996.
Oh,
Edward
I would
Burns,
not have gotten that one.
Jennifer Aniston, Cameron Diaz.
Yeah.
Classic.
All right. So then, speaking of politics and global affairs,
and sorority girls, like in She's the One. I don't know if there are sorority girls and She's the One, but I just threw that in there.
They could have been. They could have been in a sorority.
Yeah, they could. They could have been
CI-rority. CI-rority.
Sorority IA.
I think we should. Yeah. So what the heck? What the heck is going on in here?
The book is called The Sorority Girl Who Saved Your Life. Well, that's the title of the show, but the book is very similarly titled. It's based on a true story of a girl who goes through a career fair, meets with the CIA, becomes a undercover agent, all while being like the president or social chair of her sorority, and gets sent across the world.
This is incredible.
To infiltrate. Yeah, it's a true story. And then she's with the CIA for 5 or 6 years, then goes to the FBI.
What?
One of the few people ever to do that. Goes to the FBI for a few years, and now she's like a professor teaching a class, and she wrote a book.
Shnikes.
She wrote a book, and it got picked up for a show, and it's with from Ellen Pompeo's production company.
Okay, yeah.
Wendy Miracle and Timberman Beverly. Hold on, let me pick up. The Sorority Girl Who Saved Your Life details the incredible true story of Tracy Walder. Walder happened upon a CIA recruiter at a jobs fair and was recruited by the agency while a USC student at the Delta Gamma sorority sister. I have a friend that was a DG at USC, which is pretty funny.
That's funny. I wonder if they might have known
each other. But dude, I went to so many career fairs at Penn State, and this didn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I got
rejected from so many people for internships. I didn't get a CIA job.
My career fairs were a bunch of, nerdy film and TV guys that were just sitting around being like, "Do you want to work in television? We have some cameras. You can try to fix them."
There wasn't a CIA going, "Would you like to be?"
And for the record, that was me. I was I was the head of the TV organization at school.
Smart.
And yeah, that was me asking that question. I'm not making fun of the people in
Your
the room.
voice has changed since.
Yeah, it finally dropped.
Yeah, it's good.
27, 28 finally did that. But this is an amazing story, first and foremost.
Sounds awesome, right?
I hope that it's a good show on ABC television.
Well, hold on.
It feels very Quantico.
It's at ABC Studios.
Yeah, but they put it in development at ABC for the network because Ellen Pompeo has one of those first look deals at ABC because of all of her time at Grey's Anatomy. It feels very Quantico. Feels like they're losing. The truth of the matter is they're losing Shonda Rhimes.
Right.
Shonda went to Netflix.
She gone.
And so as her shows run their course, they need to fill them, and they want to keep that demo.
Will Grey's Anatomy ever end that?
I mean, they keep hinting that this might finally be the final season.
Really?
It's really dependent on whether or not Pompeo wants to stick around.
Right.
But I think that this definitely fits the ABC brand. I worry that such a wonderful true life story, such an engaging real story, is just going to become a case of the week with
fluff piece.
Yeah,
but also think about it like this:
Are they going to write like a boyfriend?
Well, they have to.
Like, there's going to be a boyfriend at the college who she doesn't tell what she's really doing, and then he thinks that she's cheating on her, and all of that stuff.
You just wrote the whole pilot.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be half of the season.
Sure, but it could be like Alias, and if it's like Alias, I'm on board.
Yeah, I would love to see ABC go back to something more like Alias, like Alias Lost. I mean that kind of caliber programming. I just don't know if network. I don't know if network's doing that right now because I think Alias is too niche for them at this stage.
You think?
I think Alias. I don't know if Alias would work in the network model today as the show that it was. They could maybe make some tweaks. Like
describe more to me. Why?
What if instead of a secret agent, she was a doctor, and instead of having her father be her handler and also being a double agent, and maybe wondering if there's like this giant cabal of conspiracy that centuries long that travels the entire globe. Okay. She solved mysterious medical cases.
I feel like you kind of just described the Good Doctor without the autism.
I feel like they have a very narrow view right now of what they consider to be a wide audience show.
I just spilled water on my computer.
I don't know. You shouldn't have done that.
I know.
The water's supposed to go in your mouth and not on the keys.
It's this new anyway. I'm sort of with you, I guess. I don't know. Like they tried Quantico.
Yeah.
It was just like Hot Cops again.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously,
remember The Catch?
I do remember
with
The Catch.
With Miralinos and Peter Krause.
Yeah.
That was a show that I was looking forward to because of the cast.
Right.
And
but the show itself was a disaster.
No, I mean, it could have, if they had leaned into more of like the moonlighting vibe and kind of like made it a little bit more sudsy.
I get you.
That could have worked.
Sure.
Could have worked. I mean, What
was that show with the girl from The Killing?
Yeah, that's the one.
That's The Catch, right?
That's The Catch.
Okay,
that's The Catch.
Okay, all right.
But what about that show with the guy from Parenthood?
Oh, that was The Catch.
Damn it. Okay. You're right. You're right.
And but about the show with the guy who's now on 911.
Yeah, that was gosh, what was that called? I want to say it was like Summer Catch. It was the mid-season version of The Catch.
I gotta be honest with you, man.
Summer Catch, you a big fan?
Well, yeah, I'm a huge fan of Summer Catch. But when I saw Matthew Lillard at Collider Live, I didn't get my window to be like, you ever think Summer Catch could be like a Netflix series? About like the Cape Cod Baseball League and all that stuff.
I mean, I think his answer would be yes, because everything can be a Netflix series.
I mean, it's IP.
If you go in and say, hey, this is a thing that's already a thing, would you like to make it something else?
Everybody's like, what would you reboot?
This is a pen that has different colors. Would you like to make a show out of this?
And a kid, when he clicks it, he travels to the magical black realm or the green realm or the blue realm or the red realm.
I'm pretty sure that show premieres on November 12th. All 10 episodes.
All 10?
All 10 episodes premieres this November.
Called The Magic Pen.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Done and done. But seriously, when somebody asks me to reboot movies or turn them into series, I'm like, Summer Catch would make a pretty good series.
Summer Catch.
Okay.
Speaking of reboots.
Yeah.
What a segue.
Nice.
Speaking of reboots, MTV is rebooting Undressed. Did you ever watch Undressed?
I didn't.
Okay, Undressed was. I used to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. I tuned in because of the title.
Yeah,
and I was like, "What's this?"
Just a horny teen.
It was a scripted series.
Okay.
It was like a scripted version of The Real World, kind of. It was following real relationships, but it was a fully scripted series.
Why do I think that I watched this show?
It aired 200 episodes between 1999 and 2002. 200 episodes.
I watched Undressed.
I'm sure you did.
I've seen this show.
I'm sure it was on MTV. It was kind of a flagship late night program.
Okay.
Loveline was probably right after that.
Right.
So some of the people that made through Undressed, because it was rotating cast because it was following different couples.
Right.
Young Christina Hendricks, Jason Ritter, Max Greenfield from New Girl.
Whoa.
Brandon Routh.
Whoa.
Chad Michael Murray.
Holy moly.
And then guess some of the writers: Lizzie Weiss, Stephen DeKnight, the director of Pacific Rim Uprising, and Damon Lindelof.
What?
Were all writers on the original show. Like they all took turns. It was a landmark program. It did breakthrough with a lot of showing a lot of alternative relationships, and won a GLAAD award. Was one of the only relationships, one of the only shows at the time to feature gay, lesbian, bisexual characters in same-sex relationships. And so now this is part of MTV Studios is rebooting. MTV Studios is basically rebooting a lot of their old programming. They're doing Real World right now on Facebook Watch.
Okay.
And then and they're doing a Daria reimagining, which was a great animated show.
Yeah, sure.
And they're also bringing back Maid. Remember the unscripted show Maid? And Aeon Flux. They're doing a live action version of Aeon Flux.
Okay.
Not to be confused with the terrible Charlize Theron movie.
Hey, you watch your mouth.
It was not good.
Movie was decent.
It was it was not.
It was a 4 out of 10.
Okay, all right, fair enough. But yeah, so now they're doing this new reboot in development now. I think it's great. I mean, MTV's never going to do music again, so they might as well do programming. And there's so much because I've turned on MTV a lot. My wife watches it a lot. I don't know about your wife.
Really?
She watches
Jersey Shore.
She watches Teen Mom.
Really?
There's like 20 Teen Mom shows.
Interesting.
There's a Teen Mom for every locality in the world, and then there's a reunion show, and then there's like 10 years later show, and then there's Teen Mom UK, and then
I have all the new Jersey Shore summer vacations stored on my DVR.
Right. Yeah.
I watched but I haven't watched since the situation went to jail.
Okay.
Since the situation went to jail. So there was the first summer vacation in Miami, and then I think they go to Vegas for another one because Ronnie just had a baby. But I haven't watched any of the new ones. But what I did watch after the season one is I was watching through my DVR picked up, so it was like a reunion show kind of a thing. And there was a girl hosting it who had this bright, shockingly red hair. And as soon as she opened up her mouth, it was the most unprofessional host in the history of hosts. And I couldn't really get to it. She was like, yo, we're back. Yo, what's up, we're back. And I was like, mm-hmm. And MTV just isn't for us. No, it wasn't Snooki. Okay. It was like a young alt girl from New Jersey. She had like a very thick, or Bronx, or Long Island, or whatever. They
wanted like a Jersey Shore girl to host Jersey Shore after show.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, that's all their programming right now. It's Jersey Shore.
It's just not meant for us. It's not meant for me or you.
No, not at all. And I am so not their demo. Not in a million years. But the MTV Studios brand, similar to what Nickelodeon's doing, which is another Viacom property with a lot of their reboots of the 90s.
Double Dares and stuff.
90s Nickelodeon fare, is they're tapping into our nostalgia, like the nostalgia porn thing that we're doing right now, where we just want anything that we remember from when we were kids.
Right.
And so MTV Studios is literally built up just to reboot all of the 90s stuff.
Yeah.
So this is just one more in their...
Regurge.
Like... They're going to... I'm trying to think what other MTV programming from the 90s that they can redo. Remember Fanatic?
I do remember Fanatic. That wasn't bad.
I think Fanatic you can't do anymore because...
It's creepy
it's
and social
super
media.
Creepy. And, well, it's social media, but also like... I feel like all the celebrities would be worried about just getting murdered when they walked into their
100%.
Fanatic
the vetting
house.
process for that show, so weird. I do remember Celebrity Deathmatch?
Oh, I remember they would do the Super Bowl specials.
Yes.
You flip over, watch the.
I remember those.
Celebrity Deathmatch was hilarious.
Claymation.
The claymation. I mean,
do they do road rules anymore?
No,
I mean, they do the death match.
I think they call it the challenge.
The challenge, right?
They do the challenge.
Okay.
Not to be confused with local NBC affiliates. Fred Rogen's
The Challenge
after show, The Challenge.
With
they do
Petros Papadakis.
that they do after Sunday Night Football. That anyone outside of LA will not know what we're talking
Correct.
about. But you can tune in if you really want to. You know what they should reboot?
Go. Tell me.
Hit My Ride.
Oh shit! Yes.
I mean, dog.
What is Exhibit doing?
We knew that you liked cars,
Yeah.
so we put a car inside of your car. Like, it's Pimp My Ride is still the most ridiculous program to ever come out of.
Yo, did you want a fish tank in your trunk? Because you got one. How are those cars?
We didn't put any glass in there.
Nope.
It's just water and
It's
fish.
just water and fish in your trunk. Hey, listen, did you want a DVD player on every inch of your car so that you couldn't drive? Pimp My Ride did it.
Yeah.
Although MTV Cribs was a lot of fun to watch.
Cribs was hilarious.
The Dave Chappelle Cribs spoof with the diamond pepper shaker, that still gets me.
Who was it? Was it Method Man's crib? That was
Method Man and Redman when they did the doorbell was just two wires that they put together. That was amazing.
Because they just made they were fake houses. They weren't real. Like they weren't really where they lived. They would dress up fake houses.
His one cousin was sleeping on the floor on a pile of DVDs.
And they just leaned into it.
Really good.
Yeah, but I drive. Their West Coast Customs is right by our Target here.
Yeah, it's right over here,
right down the road.
Yeah.
And they do tours, and I have to go in at some point.
I want to see it.
I feel like maybe
really
should we do a TV talk on the road at the West Coast Customs and see if we can interview them?
Yes.
I think that'd be hilarious.
I agree. All right, we're a little tight here. Let's do some casting quickies.
Oh yeah.
I like that term.
Casting quickies. I feel like it sounds creepy.
Yes.
But it was the only way I could write it. So if you've been watching Good Place this season,
I have.
The new character played by Kirby Howell Baptiste. Is hilarious. The
and
doctor.
He was great on Barry too.
She was great on Barry. She's one of the acting students on Barry.
Yeah.
She's now following Kristen Bell over to the Veronica Mars reboot.
I love that.
And they just announced that Max Greenfield's going to come back. Patton Oswalt's going to play a new character on the show, which is fun. So she's had quite the year. I mean, she went from Barry.
She was also in Killing Eve, which was she played her partner in Killing Eve, and she was fantastic. She's from London. She's English.
Yeah. I still need to watch Killing Eve. I've heard very good.
Very
things.
quick and very easy to watch and very well done.
All right, then
I didn't freak out like everybody else did because I liked it, but Sandra Oh deserved every nomination that she got. She was absolutely just fantastic in that show.
You know what she was also in? Kirby was also played the friend in Downward Dog.
Yes,
that short-lived, delightful show.
Shot in
Pittsburgh. I loved that little show. It was very entertaining.
I lived for that show.
It was great.
It was fantastic.
It was the girl from Fargo.
The kid from Raising Hope.
Yeah. The detective from Psych.
Yep.
Was in it for a couple episodes.
Yeah.
And it had a talking dog, but it wasn't stupid. It was just a very charming show. That's the easiest way I could have said it. It was delightful. I was really upset when they canceled it, but I'm glad that Kirby has found such success this year. Also, I was reading this story. So if you watch the most recent episode of This Is Us, you met the new campaign manager for Randall.
Yes.
Played by Tim Joe. He's now set to be a recurring character throughout the season. I
like his character.
What I didn't realize is that he is like a Dan Fogelman player. Like he's in like the Dan Fogelman shared universe. He was in The Neighbors. And he was in Pitch. And so now he's made his way to This Is Us.
Yep.
Which Kadam's did that a lot with Friday Night Lights and Parenthood and all of his shows. So
HBO does it with all their casts.
HBO does it with everybody.
Showtime does it with their casts.
So it's cool. It's always nice to see the kind of a bit player from one show get another job and another role.
He was also on the show Glory Days, which I watched. Did you watch Glory Days?
I watched Glory Days. A kid from my college was in Glory Days. He's now on The Flash, but he was in Glory Days, and so I did tune into that. That was on TBS.
Do you watch the Goldbergs?
Not religiously,
one
but
of the main guys
I watch it whenever I possibly can.
One of the main guys from Glory Days, who was also in that show, that movie Wonderland with Jesse
The Body
Kristen
Ventura?
Stewart. No. The one that took place at the amusement park in Pittsburgh.
Oh, Adventureland.
Adventureland. Sorry,
Yes.
not Wonderland. Adventureland. He was in Glory Days. He's one of the leads in the JTP in Goldberg's. He's an older actor that just still can play very, very young. He's like a Michael Angarano or Angarano kind of actor. But I'm really. Okay, we were talking about it yesterday, and this is totally sort of off topic, but Tim Joe...
That's so out of character for us.
I know. Tim Joe is playing Randall's campaign manager in This Is Us, right?
Oh, yeah.
and since the inception of this show, when he goes to see his dad in Philadelphia, even though his dad's originally from Pittsburgh, he moves across the state to Philadelphia. I've always thought, how close in New Jersey do they live to Philadelphia? Because let's just say you lived in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. It's only 20 minutes into basically city center. Because there was a lot of people, because I lived in South Jersey every summer at a shore place, I knew a lot of kids from Cherry Hill, New Jersey, or like Haddonfield, New Jersey, which is right there, Voorhees, whatever the case may be, and Philly is 20 minutes away. But when he says Alpine, New Jersey,
because they live right outside Manhattan. Which makes sense because they both work in Manhattan. They both work in
Manhattan. They have a house in Jersey. It's the classic American dream kind of a story.
Sure. Straight out of The Sopranos.
It's 110 miles to Philadelphia from Alpine, New Jersey. And if you've ever been on the Schuylkill Expressway or I-95 or anything during any kind of rush hour.
That's like 3 hours.
It's a 3.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
It's a nightmare.
Yeah.
And Randall's doing that drive every day. Yeah, right. Beth is pissed that he's running a campaign.
He's in a different state.
That
he doesn't even live in.
And he's just neglecting his children?
He adopted a child.
That he's neglecting.
That he never sees anymore.
Never. Doesn't see his family. But yet it's just like the 24 thing. We talked about it yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Jack Bauer would be on, Chloe, I'll be there in 6 minutes. Any Los Angelino knows it'll take about an hour and a half to get from Valencia to Santa Monica. Yeah. Maybe longer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the magic of television. It drives me nuts all of the time. Like
the practicality of a lot of things, I've told you before, really gets in McGraw.
I think what they did, they started saying, oh, well, he lives in Jersey and we can get to Philly really easily. And then they realized, wait, he works in New York. It's kind of it's so unrealistic for him to live on the other side of Jersey if he works in New York. So it's less of a logic leap for him to make a long trip to Philly than it would to make a long trip into the city every day.
100%. And we know he's not taking the Amtrak.
No. He's got a nice car.
Yeah. And we always see it.
Yeah.
All right. You want to talk some biz?
Yeah, I want to talk some business.
Okay.
So there's a company called Parks Associates.
Okay.
It's a grouping of parks.
Oh.
There's like national parks and state parks, and they get together.
Central Parks.
Yeah, they get together, and Randall Park's also in there.
Oh, Randall Parks.
Yeah,
that's great.
And so they get together and meet about the history of the parks. But then what they also do is they track streaming apps.
Oh shit! Way to diversify the portfolio.
Yeah, they rank OTT apps.
Okay.
So there's a top 10. There's a ranking of the top 10 U.S. subscriptions
in a park. Is it in a large park?
It's an office park.
Okay. Oh, it's in an office park.
It's an office park.
That makes sense.
They're kind of the black sheep of the Parks Association. Like the office park guys, they're like, we have a lot of concrete, guys. I mean, but we still call it a park. There's a little tree. We planted some trees.
What?
We put some solar panels up on the roof, so it's a little bit more green.
Guys, the outdoor parking garage is now covered in solar panels. So not only are you parking outside, but you're saving the environment too. Parks.
Yeah, bro. I don't know why you were really broy on that.
I went broy. That's my bad.
So they ranked the top 10 OTT video services.
Yes.
And not surprisingly, Netflix is number 1, Amazon's number 2.
Sure.
And Hulu's number 3. But HBO and Starz have moved up the ranks. They're now 4 and 5, respectively. Congratulations, HBO and Starz. Now, they're saying a lot.
What's 6 through 10?
MLB.
Whoa.
Showtime.
Okay.
CBS All Access.
Oh, shoot.
Which is impressive given that they really only have one show right now.
Good fight.
And Star Trek.
Sorry.
And Sling TV and DirecTV Now.
Oh, okay.
So what people are noticing that they...
Any stats yet on Quibi?
Quibi is not launched yet. Quibi is still in development phases.
Okay, got it.
They've locked in on that name, and now they're figuring out how to sell it to the kids.
Got it.
Just like candy cigarettes. The WWE network fell off the top 10 So I don't know if you have any opinions on that, but what it shows
when
is that
when it falls off the top 10, does it fall into a garbage disposal?
I understand that reference. So what some industry insiders are saying is that this shows that other than MLB TV, all of the other ones, everyone's skewing to original scripted content versus the unscripted content that was kind of dominating the streaming services. Now that there are so many other apps than just Netflix, Hulu, and Amazon, that there are more players in the game. Warner Media's got an app coming out. Disney has an app coming out, which people keep hitting me up on Twitter. Yes, Disney Play is written as the title in some articles.
Like in-house.
It is the in-house name that Bob Iger references in a Variety article. It is the working title that they use inside so that they don't.
It's so close to Google Play.
It's too close to Google Play, in my opinion. Yeah. And I assume it's so that in-house they don't have to call it the Disney streaming app. They're just like, Disney Play. We'll call it Disney Play. And then they're going to come up with a name later.
Right.
So the name has not been chosen yet. So therefore.
DP for short. Sorry. I was thinking about should I say it.
You get a DPOTT?
Yeah, DPOTT.
Yeah. Who's down with OTT?
Yeah, you know DP.
So streaming services are changing, but everyone's getting an app, and now they're all moving their way in.
Yep.
And it's only a matter of time before all 10 of these are just full of scripted programming. MLB TV, I'm sure, was number 1 at one point, and they're already down to 6, and Do
you know what the nerdiest thing I could say right now is?
What?
You know what I'd really like to do with that is take a time machine and go forward in time 3 years and see what the streaming landscape is like. That's the nerdiest thing I can legitimately say right now.
What you should do is go back in time and just put some money into like. What's this? You have DVDs that you're going to mail people?
I'll buy it.
I'm going to buy that company from you.
Buy it.
Yeah. Make me a 60% partner for 10% of your business. I've watched Shark Tank. I'll give you 20%.
Here's $1,100. How much does that get me? They're like 13% of the company. I'm like, done. Sign me up.
Sold. Yep. So another quick business thing before we do Twitter questions. Endemol Shine, which is a huge television production company.
And a subsidiary of the Scheinhardt Wig Company.
Yes. Yeah. They all Scheinhardt wigs are visible in Endemol Shine projects. It's a British television production company. They do Black Mirror.
Right.
They do Big Brother. Mm-hmm. They do MasterChef. They do Peaky Blinders.
That's my jam.
So Fox owns 50% of this company.
Okay.
And they were trying to sell it. And they put it up on the auction block because they wanted to sell it to a new partner. Okay. They pulled it off the auction block, meaning that 50% of that company is then going to be owned by Disney soon. So Disney is then going to become, unless another sale pops up, Disney is going to end up owning
Endemol Shine.
They're going to.
Sorry.
Endemol Shine.
Endemol Shine. Okay,
there it is.
Well done.
They're going to end up owning Black Mirror and Peaky Blinders and stuff like. Weird.
Creepily, because they are like Black Mirror spoofs a lot of Disney kind of stuff.
like they are Black Mirror to a certain degree. I just thought that was really interesting that they pulled that sale. I'm curious if anyone else is going to buy it.
Man, I can't wait for the next season of Peaky Blinders.
They almost sold it to the French company Bonajay Group, but they preserved the status quo. It was worth $3.2 billion.
Sheesh.
That's a big deal.
Holy moly.
That's a big deal.
All right.
So we'll see. So you got any Twitter questions for us before we wrap up?
We've got a few Twitter questions here. Let's try and get through, because there's only 13 of them. Let's just try and get through all of them as fast as we can.
Okay.
All right, here we go. This one comes from @David Roca Radio. David Rocha. Okay, I get it. David Rocha Radio. Seeing King of the Hill on Hulu refreshed my admiration of the show and for Bobby Hill. Would you guys be on board for a revival that stars an adult Bobby Hill moving to LA and trying to become a stand-up comedian? Yes. 100%. So real quick, there was this kid, he played for the Pirates for a while. His name was Bobby Hill. I don't know if he's still in the league or not, but when he would come to bat, they would play the King of the Hill.
I mean, it's brilliant.
Damn it, Bobby. And then parents complained because they were saying damn it on the Jumbotron.
Sure.
So they they got a guy come in, I guess a Pittsburgh local actor, to go, darn it, Bobby. It was an amazing time in Pittsburgh Pirate baseball.
Is there anything else to do at Pittsburgh Pirate baseball?
Then no, because we lose all the time.
All the time. I mean, hey, the Orioles were last place this year.
Yeah,
I can't
true.
talk.
I mean, we were almost 500. They've been better. Anyway, that's totally... Okay, this next one comes from Moondragon at Tiang Paul. What recent shows do you think that got overlooked during their runs will eventually, through streaming, become cult classics years from now? My bet is The Americans. That's a very good call.
Yes.
The Americans for me... Americans is a great call for me. It will always be *Halt and Catch Fire*. I can't recommend that show high enough.
Could not agree more. I think *Halt and Catch Fire* is the quintessential kind of show where it did not get enough due in its original run.
Agreed.
But more and more people are going to find that show over time because those actors are going to keep going up and up and up, and then Netflix is going to algorithmically tell you should watch this.
Yes. I think there's a lot of AMC shows out there or, FX shows that will eventually get a little bit of a cult
Low
classic.
Winter Sun?
Never. I was the only one that watched that show. I
tried the first couple ones. It was all right.
It wasn't bad. All right. Next one comes from Steven MB96, Steve Barton II. Since AMC is starting to make movies from their shows, do we have any chance for a Ruth Nega's Rutabagas movie?
Ooh.
You're goddamn right we do.
Good callback. I have not heard about the Rutabaga farm in a while.
Yeah. It's flourishing.
What is she doing right now?
Preacher is still going.
Oh, God. Is it really? Why?
This next question comes from Brian Marino 24 at Brian with a Y, Marino. When are you guys going to sit down and watch Avatar: The Last Airbender? If you guys review it in an episode, that episode will crush and will actually be relevant to do with the new Airbender Netflix show coming out. That's going to be a never for me. No, but I trust Ace's opinion.
Ace's opinion for sure. I would sit down and watch like 6 must-watch episodes before the new series.
I would watch the first 3.
I don't know if I have time to watch the 60 or so half hours.
Yeah, there's just... Yeah.
But... more power to you.
Again, anime just with my brain, it just doesn't
every single
equate.
person in this office can come to me right now with a new show that they've been watching, and I there's not enough time in the day for me to watch even half of it.
No.
And I can say, oh, that's awesome, I'll add it to my queue, but when the heck am I ever going to finish my queue?
And Brian, I appreciate your question because I still have Daredevil to get to. I still have Man in High Castle
I'm in the middle of episode 6, I think, right now.
I'm at 3.
You got to get to 4.
I know. I've heard.
You got to get to 4.
Okay. So, and I will say this, Brian, that episode will crush. I doubt that because we tried to do an animated show and it bombed hard.
But if you really want to hear it.
But if you want to hear it, go to Ace's channel.
Yeah.
Ace will talk about it all day with you.
Exactly.
At Squad Leader Ace, Andres Cabrera, the king of Avatar: The Last Airbender. When the show comes on Netflix, we'll bring him back and he can talk about it. And maybe we'll even bring Emma Fyffe because I'm sure she knows everything. Which, teaser, she's going to be on the show next week. Emma Fyffe will be in studio next week. In studio next week. Emma Fyffe
fantastic.
will be. Yep.
I'm so glad to hear that.
All right, next question. At Forgive My Stupid. That's a great Twitter handle.
Great handle.
Ryan Thomas Reynolds. Do you think that a talented editor can turn the 3 seasons of Daredevil into 3 2-hour movies that could rival the Dark Knight trilogy? Yes.
Yeah. I'm sure there is someone
enough fluff in there to cut out.
There's somebody out there. I mean, they did it with the prequels for Star Wars. People have been recutting stuff for years on the internet. There's certainly a way to do it. I think that the creative teams would probably say that they need a little bit more time,
right.
But
I like that idea.
Sure, go for it.
Supercuts. Next one comes from at Smog Dude. No question. Just want to give you guys a shout out to Thad. Keep living the Hawaiian lifestyle. To Josh. Keep living the Josh Pretty dream. Hashtag Josh Macuga for Jeopardy. Hashtag Collider TV Doc. Thank you. At Glay Bazero. Will you guys ever have special guests on to talk popular anime shows like Emma Fyffe and Squad Leader Ace? Yes, we did that.
Spoiler alert.
Next week. Emma Fyffe, and we'll bring Squad Leader Ace on again. Doing a full anime thing is really tough. It is a very small portion of people that watch those shows. I know you guys can argue with me, but stats don't lie. I just have to point to numbers, and I apologize. Anime is not
okay, Josh.
For me. I just get yelled at by anime people all the time.
It's okay, Josh.
I know anime really isn't your bag, but are your opinions on Netflix making a Pacific Rim and Altered Carbon anime originals to flesh out those worlds? David Deering, fan of the show, really good dude. Is there a show that you wouldn't consider yourself a fan of, but feel you would be able to rock a schmodown round about it? For example, I've never considered myself a fan of Friends, but I somehow know a lot about the story and characters.
Ooh. I mean, I could probably rock a Law and Order category, even though I don't really... I wouldn't... there's probably hundreds of hours that I've never seen, but I know enough about the characters. Like, I can do it.
I think for me, if we're talking about a show that I wasn't necessarily a fan of, but I could rock a trivia, ER.
Oh, I never watched ER.
I watched a lot of ER. I never really loved it, but my mom would have it on late at night, and I'd be doing my homework, and ER would be going on in the background, so I could probably do pretty decent in ER trivia.
Sure.
At the Big Dog W, Wyatt Foth, when will we see another episode of Joshberty? Well, Thad and I are working on a couple different things in the game show world here at Collider. So you will see some version of either a Joshberty or a maybe a possible sports game show, another sort of quiz show that is a little more
or just Josh
crowdsourcing.
Or just Josh in a dunk tank.
Yes.
And people throwing things.
Yep.
At the tank.
I want to thank the guys at Kind of Funny for having me up last weekend to do a full Joshberty, which was a blast. I think it could definitely live somewhere. Joshberty's a fun name, and it wasn't impossible for us to pull off, but it is difficult.
It's not easy.
Correct. Correct. We may, if we did it again, it may be a smaller type of production that's maybe a little more comfortable.
Yeah.
Right?
We could do that.
Yes. All right, 2 more questions. With Walking Dead and Breaking Bad getting sequel movies, what's the next franchise you think would benefit from this? And what's one franchise you never want to see again without a full reboot? That's 2 questions. Next franchise you think will get a benefit from this? Honestly, how Mayans ended, I would love to see where the Sons of Anarchy are right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm always curious.
Yeah,
I'm always curious about the Sun's world, and but again, I feel like I'd rather them deal with that inside of Mayans, on a small scale, as opposed to doing like a cash grab reunion movie thing. I don't need the reunion movies because they don't. For me, the reunion movie things don't work.
I'm with you. Yeah. It's a tough question. I have to think about that one, but both of us here on this show are not exactly huge fans of either reboots or reboot movies. Yeah. Or, reunion movies, as you call them.
Yeah, but robots. I'm a big fan of robots.
Huge.
I might be a robot.
I hate you and your robot likeness. Well, if one day you come in and start talking weird, I know that you sent in Robot Thad and the world's being taken over by artificial intelligence. And that's when I go into my bunker underground that I built in a desert outside Pennsylvania. You're like, desert outside Pennsylvania? You're welcome.
Don't worry, Josh. Everything's fine.
Get out of here.
Everything's fine, Josh.
It's creepy, Thad. It's creepy. All right, final question. At Hot Cinnamon 89, Jacob Cahill. Awesome. Hot _Cinnamon 89.
Hot _Cinnamon.
Josh, Thad, hashtag Collider TV Talk. TV shows that would benefit from a Netflix all episodes at once release.
Star Trek Discovery.
Okay.
Star Trek Discovery. It is a binging show. It is not a once a week show.
Okay.
It was on Netflix in international markets, but CBS did it once a week. Okay. And season 1 specifically, I don't know about season 2 yet, but season 1 deserved to be watched in repetition and not dwelling on some of the story holes.
I've been saying this all along, that I think that a show like Freaks and Geeks, had Netflix been around back then and it was an all-release binge, we'd be on season 4 right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
It was the wrong time for the perfect show.
It was too niche. It was too niche of a market in that era. But yes, it would a show like that would work gangbusters on Netflix.
Agreed.
And Sam Levine could still star in it.
Sure.
He still
hasn't aged.
No, he hasn't aged at all.
Besides the beard, which is aging him about 2 weeks.
Yeah. He looks 11 and 2 weeks.
There you go. Love you, Sam. Thanks for being you. That's it for Collider TV Talk. Subscribe to the channel here. Give it 5 stars. Watch us on the Collider podcast channel. You guys leave comments, any kind of ratings, share it, do whatever. It helps the show. I'm Josh Macuga at Josh Macuga, the Josh Macuga Show on YouTube. You guys can watch and listen to the afternoons with Ken and myself. And also check out Hypothetical Questions with myself and Roxy Stryer, which is also on this feed and on Collider Podcasts. That's Thad Williams.
You can find me at Thad Williams, and you can yell at me for everything I do wrong in the Schmodown.
And you can yell at me for never winning another match, but still having a hell of a time in the post interviews. Thank you guys for watching Collider TV Talk. As always, put down the book, pick up the remote.